once we start assembling our media files onto our timeline and building up our project, we'll need a method of being able to trim any excess from our video clips that we don't want to use. So in this tutorial, I'm going to look through how we trim our media. We've glanced at this in a couple of tutorials so far, but I want to cover it here again so that we can consolidate this information into one place, i.e. this one tutorial. Now, we left off in our last tutorial by having lots of different clips spread over 6 different tracks. Well, I don't want them now, so I'm going to remove them. Well, if I select this clip here and then right-click on it, then I can run down here and click on delete. Or, as we've seen previously, we could just simply hit the delete key on our keyboard. What we haven't seen so far, though, is a method of removing all these new tracks that we've set up. We don't actually need them in this tutorial down here in our track list. So by selecting this bottom track, track 6, I can right-click on it and then run down to delete track. Okay, simple enough. Now we have got a few more tracks here. You don't have to do them one by one. For example, with track 4 and 5 here, so long as I've got them selected, I can right-click and do the same thing, run down and hit delete track. So those 2 tracks are removed. Let me scroll back up to the top, and I'll do the same thing for track 3 here. Select it, right-click, and then hit delete track there. Okay, now I want to keep tracks 1 and 2. Track 1 will be for my video, and track 2 for my audio. And you can see the differentiation between the 2 different tracks there by the distinct and different buttons. Right then, let's look at building a project now by bringing in some files, but trimming away certain areas that we don't want. Now, it might well be that we use a lot of our clip, but as we're building our track up, we want to use small ranged areas. So that's what we're going to look at. First of all then, with our top track there, our top video file, I'll left click on it and drag and drop over here to our trimmer window. Okay, so the next thing I want to do then is assess which part of this clip that I want to use. So I'll hit the play button to start us off. Here we go. Right, I think I'll finish up there. So what I want to do is set an out point. Maybe at the moment I'm deciding I want to use this part of the clip right from the beginning, although we'll adjust this in a moment, but maybe I want to use from the beginning up to this point. Well, by clicking on here and setting this position as an out point, then you see that that ranged area there encompasses the area that I want to use. Okay, now another way to go back to the beginning of this clip is by clicking on this button once more, and that reveals all these different options. Well, by clicking on my top option, go to Start. Well, of course, that takes my cursor to the beginning, resulting in, if I click the play button, then I can do, of course. And if I want to pause it, then I would click there. And to restart, okay, simple enough. Just simply by clicking on and off the play stroke pause button there. Now, if I reconsider where I want my start position to be, and I did say I would do this a few moments ago, then possibly here where my cursor is, maybe I want to set this as my in point. Well, one method of doing this is to click on this button again to see this fly out, and then running down there and clicking on set in point, resulting in my in point having now moved to that position. Now, another thing that I might want to do whilst I'm building up a music video track is to assess a certain ranged area repeatedly so that I can reset my in and out points so that they fall on the downbeat of this particular track. Well, by clicking on here, this allows me to loop around this ranged area that I've set with my in and out points. And you'll see that dark blue band has now been added between my left and right, or my in and out points there. And therefore now if I click on play, well, as you could hear, once the cursor got to the end, our out point, it jumped right back to our in point, and it would loop round and round and round like that until I click the stop button, as I did. Which means, of course, I can now adjust my in and out points by left-clicking and dragging to where I can hear where the downbeats are. And by clicking play, like this, well, I can assess where my out point should be as well. And I can adjust that too. Let me check to see if I've got this right. I'll click play once more. Okay, now I would take more time with this if I was doing it properly, but just for illustration purposes, you can see the principle behind it. Now, I'll finish up for this tutorial now that we've got this far, but in the next tutorial, we'll continue looking at how we trim our media. Okay, see you in a moment.